A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
The ASRL Southern Shores Realty Sports Car Championship live this Wednesday from virtual Laguna Seca, only on Turn 200.
And now, our feature presentation.
Well, after a record-setting week last week in all the wrong ways, let the carnage continue, as they, I guess, say. Tonight, high banks, high speed, low percentage chances of escape. It is 200 miles around the new Atlanta Motor Speedway for round 7 of the second season of Truck 200, right here on Turn 200. Hello to everybody. Coast to coast and around the globe, we are live here on Turn 200 with some good old-fashioned trucking. Matt Williamson is here as always. My name is Tommy Cook. Matt, appreciate you coming out here tonight. It's been an interesting night already. It's only going to continue to get more interesting as the night rolls along.
Yeah, we've had some issues with the sessions a couple of times, but we've decided to go ahead and roll with it here as this is not practice that you're seeing on screen. This is open car or open truck qualifying here. So everybody is out on track together trying to put in those fast laps and get a little taste of what it's going to be like here as we take the green in about 10 minutes or so. Yes, open qualifying. Again, that was the plan for Talladega, because it happened last season at Talladega, so we figured keep the tradition rolling there. We had to make a new session with very short notice, and open qualifying is obviously it's one of the last things I will check to make sure, and that box did not get ticked. So open qualifying is here, and it is underway, as you alluded to. Before we check in on the drivers here, we'll go ahead and take a look at the points, if you'd be so kind, Matt Williamson. Yep, we're going to take a look at the points here, and we've kind of mentioned it over the last 2 or 3 weeks. Bit of a lead opening up here for Caleb Bensley, and it's only getting larger. He leads TJ Crampton by 357 points, which is over a win and a half here in Truck 200. So a lot of work for the rest of the field to do here. Hunter Engrave is actually closing in on second a bit. Less than 100 points separates him and TJ Crampton. Roland Holt and then Mike Berry are going to round out the top 5. And the fight for, I guess, 4th or 5th is pretty fierce here. We have a lot of drivers within range of 5th place right now, but if they string some together, get a little bit of luck, it is very easy to get good or bad luck here tonight. We also have Talladega left on the schedule as well. Those 2 tracks can really shake things up. Some drivers are looking for some good luck to come their way tonight.
Yes. Rest of the races after tonight, we go straight to the Charlotte Roval after this. Oh, God. That setup has just been finished. Then straight to Bristol, then to Talladega, then to the Milwaukee Mile and Michigan. So this back half of the season is a lot. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe could have mixed a couple of things around here to close out the season. But yeah, it's literally all gas, no brakes. Hopefully here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway as qualifying's underway.
Yep, qualifying underway. We're going to see some drivers doing some tandem drafting. We saw some big groups together. There is a big group together heading into turn 3 and 4 right now. We see Scott Patton trying to get to the back of the line there. And at the back of the big groups is where you want to be because you can kind of back yourself off. Nobody behind you. Let everybody get out in front of you. As long as you're within drafting range, you're going to draft all the way up to them throughout that lap and have a blazing fast time. And Reynolds and Jeff Smith should be two of those. They have been towards the back of the line here. And there they go to first and second on the board. Smith to first, Reynolds to second here. And those drivers, there's a contact.
Oh, boy.
Scott Patton gets into Steve Roman.
This is the first time we've seen Scott Patton here this season with us. We normally see him on Thursday nights. And, that was a nice how do you do.
Yeah, haven't seen Patton here all season in Truck 200. So good to have one of the Bandit Motorsports drivers here with us tonight.
Yes, in fact, this is the first on-track appearance at all from anybody from Bandit Motorsports this season. So excited to have Scott back in the field. He's gearing up for a big week. This week, they're going to New Hampshire, which is his home track, on Thursday night with Maximum Velocity. So he is excited for that.
Oh, big wiggle out of Miglin there. I think he touched the apron. Kyle Zittle's at the front of this line, and he's not getting the best speed here. He's sitting at 15th right now.
Oh, boy. We just had a fairly decent-sized crash. Sanders, Bensey, McKinnon, Schlosser, Simard, Kreider. I think Michael Dean got a piece of it as well. No, that was a separate thing. So...
Well, I'm not sure, though.
Oh! Drew White, Jeff Smith, Cody Claiborne. Oh, boy. Yeah, open qualifying barely works at Talladega. It was never going to work here. I would have never done this on purpose.
Well, the thing is, for those at home that don't know, here to put a lap up, you cannot have any sort of incident points, whether it's an off-track or contact with another driver. You can bump draft. No, you can't even bump draft. If you get a 0x, it doesn't count either, I don't think. So
that is correct.
Yeah, so you cannot touch anything, basically, to put a lap up. And in open qualifying, you have to run with people in the draft to be fast, but you have to trust them not to touch you during that lap as well. So it is a team game here in open qualifying, and you gotta either find somebody that is going to do it well, or you gotta hope that you got some good teammates.
45 seconds plus another 30 seconds to finish the lap that everybody will be on when the checkered flag drops. The good news for Nathan Reynolds is that he is second place right now in qualifying and will have the second pit stall. The bad news is he has an AOL penalty from last week at North Wilkesboro.
Oh, no.
So gets the good pit stall, but will not reap the true benefits of a front row start here. as qualifying is going to draw to a close here. Again, everybody can finish the lap that they are currently on. And Jeremy McKinnon has just jumped up to third.
Yeah, some movement between this group that we're watching right now as well. Engrave, Sanders, and DeMade all moved from outside the top 10 into the top 10 the lap before this.
Well, partner, I've got quite a bit of admin stuff to do here on the start, so I might leave the starting grid to you if you're okay with that.
Absolutely. We'll get to it here in just a second, and then we'll have track conditions for you after that. As we are going to wait for this session to close down. And it will. We'll get to the race session and your qualifying order. Starting on the pole here tonight in Truck 200, it's the big one, 200 at Atlanta. Jeff Smith will start first. He's grabbed his pole here tonight, starting first on the inside row. We already mentioned it. Nathan Reynolds qualifies second, but has an EOL penalty, so he will go to the back of the field for the start of the race. Qualifying third, it's Jeremy McKinnon, who we know, if you have watched Turn 200 previously, Jeremy McKinnon very, very good here on the super speedway style tracks. And then it's your points leader, Caleb Bensie, starting fourth. Josh Kreider in fifth. Paul Ellison starting in sixth. Hunter Engrave and Gavin Sanders make up that fourth row. Rounding out the top 10 in qualifying here, Dakota DeMade and then Brantley Gainey. You got to watch out for Gainey. He has won a race here in the trucks, in the Venom Truck Series on this channel at Atlanta. Got to watch out for that number 22. Starting in the sixth row, it'll be Drew White and Michael Dean. Moving back to row number 7, Scott Patton, Cody Claiborne, J.J. Wayne, Kyle Zittle. Then it'll be Steve Roman, David Deegan starting 17th and 18th. On that 10th row, Dan Miglin and Luke Peterson, Matt Schlosser, Pascal Samard, Dave Payton and Matt Houston starting 23rd and 24th. And rounding out the back half of the field here, the back quarter of the field, I guess I should say, Roland Holt, Mike Berry, Jeff Oakes, Troy Thomas, Daryl Klotz, and Alan Phillips will be starting 30th. Of course, Reynolds will be starting back there with those drivers as well.
And so will Dan Miglin and Kyle Zittle. They both received penalties from North Wilkesboro last week as well. So those three move to the back. Everybody else will move up accordingly here as the drivers start to roll off of pit road. Strategy-wise, anything is possible. Anything can happen here. Everything will happen. But what are we expecting here as the race rolls along?
We'll look at the track conditions first. Of the super speedway races, this one is where the tires will play the most important part. And 127 degrees on the track temperature, so very slippery. Really got to be careful early on and late on in these runs. We are at 100% fuel capacity for 130 laps here around Atlanta. Fuel window's about 50 laps. I'm going to say it's probably around 45 if I had to guess, but might be able to move it on a little bit farther, but of course cautions could come into play with that as well. 0 fast repairs. That is the big number to watch here tonight. And they do have 3 extra tire sets, and if we get some cautions, I think the drivers will want them.
I think they will as well. How about Jeff Smith getting his first pole here?
Yeah, and him and Reynolds working together to get to first and second. Of course, Reynolds starting in the back.
So Jeff Smith leads the field to green here at Atlanta. Caleb Bensie then will line up on the outside of the front row for the points leader. We're underway.
Yeah, outside line broken up quite a bit here. Pretty good start for the inside line. Smith. Oh, my. Kind of showed his hand to the outside line and then dove right back in front of McKinnon. You got to be careful. McKinnon will not let you back in easy.
No, Jeremy McKinnon is probably not the person that Jeff Smith wants to see in his mirror. McKinnon wants to be in the front and stay in the front. The lap 1 goes to Jeff Smith.
Smith continues to lead here off of turn 2. Bensi is looking to gain some momentum with the help of the 55 of Paul Ellison on the outside. Smith onto the apron a bit.
Wow, that was close.
And that is a place you cannot be here at Atlanta.
No.
Not only per our red line rules, but just as driving goes, it is very difficult to get it off of the apron. And hang on to that truck as Smith gets loose. Oh!
Oh, boy. They are all over the place. My goodness.
That looked like some contact, too. I couldn't quite tell who it was between.
I think, Smith and Ellison made contact. Sanders made some contact. It was chippy, to say the least, up front there.
And
after Bensi dropped down for the lead.
Yeah, as a result, Bensi leads his lap and then drops straight to the back of the field. Doesn't want any part of what's about to happen, or what he thinks is about to happen anyways.
Great push from Bensi's teammate Gavin Sanders up to Jeff Smith. Smith was able to regain the lead. McKinnon underneath. He's going to make it 3 wide and shuffle Jeff Smith out.
Great move by McKinnon. He had the run and was able to make it happen really before they even got to the turn.
McKinnon is the super speedway. He's one of the 2 in the Venom Truck Series. Kyle Zittel is the other one. But McKinnon is certainly the more aggressive of the 2, as Smith had an opportunity there to get back underneath McKinnon. I think Josh Kreider has seen enough. He is rolling out.
Not surprised to see that a little bit early on here. Atlanta, obviously the tighter of all super speedway tracks, a lot tougher to navigate as well, especially in that quad oval. If you get 3 wide in the quad oval, it's hairy, that's for sure.
Kreider will continue to drop back as it's a breakaway up front. Top 11, I do believe, have made their way out in front of the pack here. Sanders, McKinnon, Patton, Smith, Ellison. Now Jeff Smith is going to say sayonara. Gainey, Engrave, Lang, Schlosser, White, and Claiborne.
And McKinnon and Sanders, after some drivers have dropped out, have a huge lead right now, but that's not always a good thing here.
Jeff Smith is going all the way back to the tail of the field. He is only going 130 miles an hour. He is going to lose the draft.
Schlosser stuck on the outside here. This is the first mostly single file racing we've seen thus far on lap 8. Schlosser trying to hang on with the help of JJ Wang. Those are 2 drivers we saw on the outside line a lot at Daytona as well, and have reassumed the strategy here at Atlanta.
Top 2 drivers, all from Canada. You can make the argument that Hunter Engrave is diet Canadian since he's from Minnesota. So the North is looking pretty good up front here.
Well, you have Scott Patton up there in the Northeast as well,
yeah.
So the top 4.
Also close to Canada, just a different section of the country. Land borders are fun, aren't they? We are almost 3 wide at the tail end of this group here. They were for just a split second through the quad oval.
Yeah, I thought Cody Claiborne was thinking about it, maybe just looking for some clean air, as here goes Brantley Gainey in the 22. I said to watch out for him there in driver intros, and he is making his move known. If you get some good drivers together that work well together on the outside line, I actually think it's preferred. But you have to work really hard, and you have to work well.
I mean, Gainey's got a lot of friends in the field, don't get me wrong, but he actually has a concrete teammate with him here tonight. Michael Dean, making his second career start in Truck 200. He's only a couple of trucks behind Brantley Gainey, but Gainey is fading here with the number game going against him on the top side.
Like that, the top line has dissipated.
That's just fine. Log some laps. We'll stay green for a long time, hopefully.
Yeah, we are single file quite literally all the way through the field now.
Some people have some catching up to do, that is for sure. Oh, some jostling there. Schlosser, I do believe. Maybe that's not Schlosser. That's the other way. They're side by side, just outside of the top 5 here.
That's Dan Miglin
and Miglin and
Dave Payton.
Yes, that is correct.
Payton trying to get back in, will slot in front of Claiborne.
Field is coming up on Dakota DeMade, who lost the draft right off the start. As also David Guimond is down on the bottom of the track. Not sure what happened to him. It's showing a solo incident. As up the track goes Gavin Sanders.
We have quite a few orange trucks in the field these days,
yes,
and they always confuse me.
So Sanders will finally find his way back into line behind Dan Miglin, which would put him in 7th, I do believe. Puts Jeremy McKinnon back out front.
Big gap here now between Sanders and J.J. Wang from 7th back to 8th. Closing now. Not sure what happened there.
No, I'm not sure
either. The
either.
gap was almost to a second at one point. And Schlosser will take that spot away from Wang. Or at least will attempt to. Wang, no help on the outside here. But now finds some help with Gavin Sanders. And Dan Miglin, no. Miglin decides to stay on the bottom.
Scott Patton pulled right up to Hunter Engrave there. Not sure if he was trying to make a move or give a big push. We'll find out if they're looking for a run down the back straightaway here. Not quite hooked up, though.
Oh, they're about to catch Dakota Tomade, who is going to go a lap down.
And drivers who are going a lap down have been instructed tonight to stay below the red line. That is exclusively their territory. And they will do just that. Oh, we've got trouble! Peyton Bensey, the points leader, Nathan Reynolds, Daryl Klotz, Alan Phillips, all involved. Caution is out for the first time.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that was almost really bad. Whew.
The points leader, Bensey, involved here. This was way at the back of the field.
I'm not sure what happened, because Dave Payton was just in this lead pack not too long ago.
And obviously it already started at that point. Let's go ahead and rewind it here. We will go to a little bit of a different camera angle. Coming down the back stretch here. And I think Peyton is going to go high, and he goes a little bit higher than he wanted to. He almost gets up into the wall. Oh, and he gets loose up there, and he jumps straight down the racetrack into Bensey. Those are the two that made contact initially. And then everybody else trying to get checked up. Nathan Reynolds plows into the back of Bensey. Bensey and Peyton had come straight up the racetrack, and then more contact. Can't quite tell who that truck is. I think Drew White's in the other truck. Maybe that's Daryl Klotz. Hard to tell. And it is. It's Daryl Klotz in that 14. Then actually that was the 25 of Alan Phillips that got together trying to get to the bottom of the racetrack. So about five or six trucks involved in that one. A couple of them pretty heavy hits. But with the new damage model, we've seen some pretty heavy hits at these types of racetracks, and the drivers have no issues after that. So it'll be hard to tell until we get going here to see just how much damage there is.
Now, that's the thing, is when we were here with the Venom Truck Series several months ago now at this point, it was before... it was 2 big updates ago. And those trucks were tanks, and they also like to get stuck in the wall and fly 1,500 feet into the air. Both of those problems are eliminated, as Nathan Reynolds, nor anybody in that crash actually, got a meatball flag. So that's good news. Other news to pass along, quite a few people who were not involved in that accident came down pit road. Including Hunter Engrave, Matt Schlosser, Gavin Sanders from the top 10.
And now here comes Matt Houston as well.
Yeah, Matt Houston actually was the first driver onto pit road the first time. So this is him coming back down here.
And Benzie and Reynolds, well, Reynolds actually is still in the pits there. Benzie and Reynolds stayed in for extensive repairs.
Yes. But again, those are all optional. They'll probably need them to be able to keep pace here, I would imagine. But they technically don't have to take them. Coming in to put lap 20 in the books. Lap 21 will go up on the board when race leader Jeremy McKinnon comes to the line this time. He has Scott Patton lined up to his outside. Paul Ellison and Drew White on row 2. Dan Miglin, JJ Wang, teammates on row 3. We're back underway. A lot of space on the top line there. Does not get a great restart. It's got to feel all right for Jeremy McKinnon up front. He got the pole at regular Atlanta here. Didn't get to lead any laps. He's led a lot here so far tonight. It's Ellison and Drew White becoming very familiar, very quick here at the front of the field.
And White jumps up in front of Miglin. They have JJ Wang with them as well. Those three will stick it to the top side.
Truck drivers versus open wheel drivers up at the front of the field here.
Now that's a tag team match I've been waiting to see.
Yes. Brantley Gainey getting a run here on the bottom. White is going to pull back in the line. So will Miglin then leave poor JJ on the top side all by himself, though. Cody Claiborne is coming to his aid.
And here comes one of the super speedway aces we talked about. He had to go to the back of the line for a penalty, but Kyle Zittel has entered the chat inside the top 10 now and working the top side.
He decides
dives to the bottom.
Time. Not sure how much you can do in the opening laps here, but he says it's finally time for me to arrive.
Zittel doing everything he can to work his way to the front. He's been on the top, been on the bottom, trying the middle. He wants to get up front and stay there. And, of course, we've talked about it numerous times, but we'll go ahead and mention it again since we've had so many drivers just drop out of the top 5 tonight. A couple schools of thought here. You either get to the front and stay there the whole night, or you drop back, wait for the big one 200 this time, and then find your way to the front after the dust Oh, and there's some contact between Miglin and Wang. Tough spot there through the quad oval.
Been noticing Miglin is trying to run a little bit of a higher line up off the bottom. Some drivers are jiving with it, some drivers are not. As Cody Claiborne just gave a huge shot to Kyle Zittel, but Zittel's got nowhere to go right now.
Batten jumps. Oh! Wang with a huge wiggle. He's up in the wall.
Oh, boy.
He's trying to hang on to it. He does.
Wow.
The driver's taking evasive action. Nobody else has been involved up to this point, but he's stuck 3 wide now.
Great job on the save. Unfortunately, it's going to cost him a lot of positions here.
Yeah, and that was just an odd incident. He got it there to the top side. No drivers really around him. And it almost looked like somebody net-coded into him, but there wasn't a truck really within a truck length of him.
That top line is looking a little greasy, to borrow a dirt track term here. It looks unsteady, like a lane and a half down from the wall.
Well, we saw the first incident was from somebody getting loose on the top and coming straight down the racetrack, and I think Wang was trying to keep that from happening, just overcorrected up towards the wall.
Ooh, Cody Claiborne just got snappy loose behind Scott Patton. He is backing up the top line here.
Well, we mentioned at the top of the broadcast the weather. It's a very hot day here in Atlanta. Track temperature was 127 degrees when we started this race. Now up to 130, so 28 laps on some of these tires. Pretty long run for the tires here to pile on 130-degree track temperature.
Oh, Paul
Here comes
Ellison!
Ellison!
Oh, boy. And he is going to save it. Wow. And that was running the bottom. He was in second. I mean, that's incredible work not to come straight back up into the pack. I wonder if he had help from Drew White or if that was just getting loose.
Definitely could have just been getting loose. We've been seeing it time and time again. It's going to be no surprise now if we see more of it. Patton trying to squeeze his way into the inside line. He does in front of Gainey.
Behind Dan Miglin, who's worked his way up to third. See if Patton is going to work with Miglin or if he's going to use him to get a little speed boost here. Nope, he's jumping up to the top. Or at least getting loose,
no!
maybe.
Wow, what a save there. Scott Patton was completely sideways.
I mean, these guys are walking it. It's a little slippy out there, I think.
We had the onboard shot with Sanders, and you saw that 46 truck in the middle of the track sideways for just half a second. Patton able to hang on.
Wow.
Here comes Kyle Zittel into the top 5 now, looking for more on the top. The 53 is a moving and a grooving right now.
And to mention both of these drivers, Miglin and Zittel, both had EOLs to start this race. They are riding in third and fourth.
And you see the Power Rangers truck. Go, Kyle Zittel.
Gavin Sanders will pull up behind Kyle Zittel here. I think Dave Payton is third in line there on the top. Dan Miglin, man, he got awfully bouncy there at a turn number 4. Really loose.
Starting to get some help here on the top side with Zittel as Sanders, Dave Payton, and J.J. Wang behind him. Wang has worked his way back up through the field after getting into the wall only about 10 laps ago.
Miglin is really starting to look loose. I'm sure Zittel wants to get up and go. Not just to get to the front, but to get in front of as many people as possible for when somebody inevitably starts to back the truck up here momentarily.
Zittel pulled even with
Ooh.
Payton. Oh! Drew White's under the apron loose! Niggling into the back of him. That bottom line had to check up big time.
Everybody is having trouble here on the bottom, other than maybe Jeremy McKinnon. Haven't seen a whole lot of movement from his truck, but everybody else that's been working the bottom consistently, well, people on the top have done it too. I don't know. I just think everybody's having problems right now.
Yeah, I think it's just a hot, slick racetrack. Tires are starting to wear out a bit, and it's getting difficult out
Oh,
here.
Dave Payton! Oh, my goodness. How did nobody crash? We're not done yet.
Wow. These drivers have done an unbelievable job not to bring out that second caution.
I think Peyton desperately wants to get to the bottom of the track here. That was a take-your-breath moment at the front of the field. That would have been the big one, 200.
And off of some of this action, particularly from the front of that field.
Oh, Peyton in the wall!
Evasive action from Patton Schlosser. J.J. Wang graciously moves up a lane to let them back in. Now Luke Peterson's in the wall.
Goodness gracious. I mean, Wang got quite a bit of damage from that. He piled into the back of the 38.
And I'll say it before we have any more action. Zittel
Yes.
and Sanders able to move to second and third on the bottom off of some issues here from White and others.
Whew. Oh, Micklin. Yep, we'll get back down in the line. Goodness gracious.
Yes, sir. And we mentioned some people that had come to pit. Gavin Sanders and Matt Schlosser were two of them. They are the highest running drivers that came to pit on that first caution, have now moved their way to third and fourth. So they are looking really, really great right now. And Schlosser looking even better. He's making ground up all by himself here on the top.
Look at Matt Schlosser go. Came so close to getting a podium last week at North Wilkesboro. One spot short. And is on that podium right now.
Here's the cockpit view of J.J. Wang in the 61. Third in line on the top side here has Patton and then Schlosser in front of him. Top line looking to move here.
Wang undeterred up front. After just a couple laps ago, looking to be in serious jeopardy. Settle down a little bit, but maybe not for the lead as Schlosser gets a big shot here from Patton.
Schlosser leads it that time around, but was not able to clear McKinnon on the bottom, so those two will still battle side by side.
Oh, Dave Payton has gone around. Haven't seen how it happened. But he is having trouble with getting that truck turned around. He's off of the track.
Oh, Patton. Wow, I thought Patton was going to try to send it to the middle there on Schlosser. Had the opening, does not take it. There's Payton on the bottom of the track as the rest of the field goes around.
It's a tough night for Dave Payton. But still rolling here. A lot is going to happen.
Well, we've seen a lot happen on pit stops here at Atlanta before, and we are not too far from those folks that did not come to pit on the first caution needing to come down pit road for fuel. So it could get, I guess, wild is really the only term to use here, because pit stops here at Atlanta are very, very difficult.
Yes. iRacing does not have the pit entry that NASCAR uses here at the new version of Atlanta, where you have to pit off of turn number 3. They don't have it, so we're not going to force the drivers to do it. They are going to pit off of 4. Unless they really feel the need to get down to turn 3, which honestly, if they did, I wouldn't blame them. But it's not mandatory.
The other part about these pit stops is there's quite a few drivers in the field that do not have to come around, so they should probably think about getting to the top side so they can just motor right on by as people are trying to get down on the apron.
One of those is Matt Schlosser. He just moved down to the bottom, but it's not as big of an issue if you're in the lead.
Yeah, he does not have to worry about anybody being on the bottom of the track as he gets to lead this race. Has now gotten in front of the 12 of McKinnon. McKinnon giving him some hard shots here.
Gavin Sanders is one that will have to worry about some drivers stuck in the pit road here.
McKinnon all over Schlosser, even into the turn. Dangerous, hard pushing here from McKinnon, but we obviously expect nothing less at this point as McKinnon has weaseled his way underneath of the 400. Schlosser back to the top.
Now, Schlosser does have a little fresher tires than McKinnon, but, you don't want to use that tire life up if you can avoid it. And we think somewhere in the window of 45 to 50, throw in an extra couple of caution laps for the drivers that did not pit. So pit stop should be underway here in the next few laps, I would imagine. Oh, and Schlosser going to go way up top here. Patton goes through.
Yeah, Schlosser with some issues. Lets Patton by to try to slot back in. Gainey had to check up. A lot of the field still riding around from the middle on back, just riding around single file, trying to make these laps work. And just trying to make it to these pit stops safely as well. Gainey starting to move backwards a little bit. Drew White here on the bottom looking to take that position. Gainey still fighting back on the outside though.
And David Guimond is on pit road. He was the driver you just saw slow under the apron.
And Dave Payton entered pit lane but slid it into the inside wall there. So I think some damage for Dave Payton as he entered pit road. We're starting
it's lap 50.
Yeah, we're starting to get single file here. I think we're looking at pit stops here pretty quick.
And Sanders goes to the top side again. He does not have to pit here. May choose to, but doesn't have to.
And communication about pit stops is going to be very key here.
Yes, all the drivers have been drilled and drilled and drilled. Call out when you're pitting. Give plenty of notice to the people that are around you. Oh, Siddle. Oh, man, nearly into Brantley Gainey there. It was close. Gainey a little loose.
And we're on board with Scott Patton right behind Zittel, so we got a good look at it. And now Patton finds room in front of Gainey. Gainey had to check up big time and loses a spot.
Matt Schlosser blinking a little bit.
And almost some contact there between Sanders and McKinnon.
Matt Schlosser had to go make the save after. Oh, and he's gone.
Yeah, we're having big issues for multiple drivers here. Schlosser has been gone for a while now.
Alan Phillips just left. Matt Schlosser, they just had download packet loss at the exact same time.
Wow.
Drew White as well. I wonder what
Oh,
Mike
dude.
Berry. Oh, God. I think we're having some problems here. Jeff Smith. Oh, boy. That is not good.
And here come pit stops. Oh, boy.
Gainey blows by pit road entry. Not sure if he was trying to pit and got a little too hot in there, or if he got boxed in by people who were trying to pit.
And McKinnon
Either
leads
way.
him in. McKinnon leads him in. Samard got into the inside wall of pit road, so some damage there for the 76. Sanders and Patton out front here. Patton has not come down pit road yet this race, so we'll need to here shortly. But
Cody
besides
Claiborne just hit pit road. Sorry.
Patton, I mean, he's out front with really nobody to contend with other than him and Sanders getting to work together, so probably smart to try to run a couple of fast laps before he comes in. Try to gain a little bit of time there on those drivers who just came down pit road.
So, not sure what just happened. To note that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people just got booted from the server all at the same time. Drew White and Mike Berry are on their way back in. Hopefully everybody else is as well. That is... I don't know what to make of that. I've never seen that before.
No, certainly not all at the same time like that.
No.
Kreider's starting to move up. He's catching Scott Patton. He's bringing Steve Roman and Hunter Engrave along with him. And I guess these drivers can go a lot longer on fuel than we thought they could. Obviously, we did have a caution, but that should only save you about 3 or 4 laps.
Scott Patton is pitting this time. So is Roland Holt.
And you see the drivers that are not pitting move to the top side here. Good entry for Patton. Holt and DeMade, good entries for them as well. Chelsea Griffin in the chat here. I don't know if we've had Chelsea in the chat previously here on the channel. Thanks for coming out to watch. Cheering on Gavin Sanders there in the 10 car, or the 10 truck that is, who is leading this race and looking good. Has already been down pit road. And I think pitting on that first caution was a good play here, because I think they'll be able to make it on one more pit stop. I shouldn't say I think. They definitely will be able to make it on one more pit stop. Those drivers that did not, I'm not so sure that they'll be able to make it. So they're going to be on fuel preservation mode, and we'll be hoping for a caution. These drivers out in front right now, they are hoping for this thing to go green the entire way.
Yes, they certainly are.
And we're very, very split up now after pit stops. These drivers that are a little bit farther back, Matt Houston, Caleb Bensey, and Jeff Smith. Actually, Smith is a lap or 2 down.
Jeff Smith was one that got booted. So he is 6 laps down.
But Benzie and Houston were way in the back of the field before pit stops and are now sitting 5th and 6th, trying to gain some momentum and catch those in front of them. These top 4 have all broken away. Jeff Oaks is somebody we really have not mentioned at all tonight. Currently, your big mover, up 23 spots. Going to go to the cockpit of Matt Houston here and see the closing rate on the 5 of Jeff Oaks as they have pulled in within 0.7 of a second now and closing quickly. Houston up in the wall.
Oh, man.
I thought Houston was just letting Benzie by, but I think Houston got really, really tight there into turn 3. And then Benzie tries to go high, then pulls in right behind Oaks. And right now, these drivers are really hoping a caution comes out because they can trap a lot of drivers a lap down.
Yes, it would certainly be rather destructive to quite a few races, whether they were involved in it or not. If the caution were to come out right now, 8 trucks on the lead lap. That is no mathematician, but that's not a lot out of 30.
No, it is not. They would trap well over half the field a lap down, and of course, those drivers would then have to get around the pace car, not be able to come into pit. And, yeah, it would really mess everything up.
Oh, Benzie going underneath of Jeff Oaks here. Now going to roll out of it.
Well, and they were 3 wide with Jeff Smith there on the top as well. Smith trying to unlap himself right now.
Yes, it'd still be a number of laps down here.
Oaks is underneath. Or no, this is Kreider, sorry. I do it every time now. Josh Kreider underneath of Sanders here. Sanders now clear.
Well, oh well. This is not gone the way I thought it was going to. Oh, but Kreider up the track nearly into Smith there. This has certainly been an interesting one. That is for sure.
Yes, it's been an interesting night as a whole, not just on the racetrack.
Yes.
This top group continues to battle.
Oh! Paul Ellison and Cody Claiborne got together. Claiborne is up in the wall. They didn't ever go around, though.
And Claiborne has had to tow to the pits.
Yes, he had a meatball flag. I doubt he was going to be able to get that truck off of the wall. Vroman, Ellison, and Claiborne all got a piece of that one.
And this is a big group here. These are all the drivers that came into pit here just about 10 to 12 laps ago. Need to get their lap back. Meanwhile, Jeff Smith has unlapped himself, but still,
Wow.
I think still quite a few laps down.
Yes, he is now 5 laps down. Sanders may be able to save a little bit of extra fuel here.
Running up on Scott Patton as well, so Patton staying out obviously did not help him unless he had some sort of a flag on his pit stop.
I don't think so. I think only David Guimond picked up a black flag on that pit cycle. Jeff Smith, unfortunately, has gotten shuffled out and sent back to the back of the line, but he came over the radio and said that was fun while it lasted.
Something must have happened to Scott Patton that we haven't seen, because he's actually 2 laps down now.
Yes, I'm not 100% sure.
But still, anything can happen here.
Yes, indeed. Oh, Patton. Not too sure, just didn't get into the back of somebody. Daryl Klotz will be pitting this time from the lead pack.
We are really jumbled up here.
Actually, not from the lead pack, from the second pack, rather. And he is the only one.
And these drivers came to pit on lap 18, so probably about 5 laps away from pit stops here.
To be honest with you, I don't know anymore. Troy Thomas is in this second pack as well. He will be pitting this time. He's letting a lot of trucks go by here just to make sure. Gavin Sanders will be pitting this time from the lead, and Caleb Benzie will follow him. So will Hunter Engrave. Jeff Oaks as well. So pretty much this entire lead pack here, or most of them anyway.
Yeah, I'm assuming Kreider is just going to follow them all in, as he's going to lose all the help here. And wow, Kreider has...
Up into the grass! Oh, save it! And he's picked up a black flag for sure for exiting pit road. That was an aggressive strategy. Unfortunately, I think it's going to cost everybody around them a little time as well.
Yeah, Kreider tried to rocket around the outside of Sanders into pit road and just got... wasn't able to check up like he needed to. As you said, got off of pit road into the grass and likely has a black flag here.
Indeed, he does. Matt Houston, all by himself in the lead now, will surrender and come to pit road.
And Nathan Reynolds came into pit with them as well, and
Yes, he did.
I don't think he needed to.
I'm not sure.
Well, I guess he did need to, because the group that's in the front now, I think, will have to come back down pit road for a splash of fuel. So actually probably a good thing that Reynolds came in with them, but I think he is a lap down on them. So he's going to hope for a caution. He'll be able to get back on the lead lap, and then we'll also have enough fuel.
Who had this pegged as a strategy race?
Not me.
I mean, strategy involved, yes, but like this is a strategy race. Craziness. Jeremy McKinnon is now back in the lead.
Well, it's a product of kind of the timing of that first caution that came out. These drivers that came down the pit were hoping for the race to transpire as it has so far. Green Flag Racing able to take advantage of the fuel strategy. And McKinnon will lead it. Zittel behind him. Those two on the bottom there. And the Miglin third in line on the bottom. Holt just about even with him on the top. Where Steve Roman, Michael Dean, JJ Lang, Paul Ellison, Luke Peterson, all a part of this group. Drew White as well, who was also one of the drivers that was booted out of the session just a short time ago.
Yes, and those drivers range anywhere from 5 to 7 laps down now.
Mike Berry, one of those drivers as well, is right there with Drew White also.
Matt Schlosser was the last to rejoin. I think he is back on track now, but he is 25 laps down. So he was running inside the top 5 when he got disconnected. That's the first time we've ever seen that happen here on the channel. I mean, we've seen 1 or 2. It's not uncommon to see 1 or 2 in a race, but 5 at the same time, never seen it before. And they're all geographically scattered to the winds, those 5 drivers.
That's what I was going to say. Is it would be pretty interesting if they were all in the same area, like they were all racing off the same server, but probably unlikely.
I know there are a couple of East Coast drivers and a couple of Midwest drivers in the mix there. Can't remember where a couple of them are off the top of my head, but certainly most of them in different places.
Well, as we have a big group here together, what do you say? What do you say, Tommy?
Let's do it.
I think it's about time to crank it on up here, turn 200 style. Alrighty, we cranked it up. No action thus far. One of the few times that's ever happened.
It's still McKinnon and Zittel up front. These two with a lot of wins at Daytona. We've yet to see either of them win here on the channel. Here being in Lando Motor Speedway. We've seen them win on turn 200 plenty of times. Zittel a little out of shape there. They're not but a few laps away from catching a decently sized group in front of them. Again, should move down to the bottom of the track. We'll have to see.
Still, probably 3 laps or so before they catch him. I mean, he can work really well as a 2-truck tandem here. Maybe even longer than that, honestly. May never catch him.
Yeah, maybe.
This is just one of those tracks where you got a big group together. You have to check up a lot of times. And if you just got 2 trucks working really well together, no checking up, they can actually run faster laps at times. It also helps that they're catching a few trucks in front of them as well.
Yes, indeed. Zittel not quite clear on McKinnon. Giving it everything he's got with help from Roland Holt. Oh! I think we're under caution here.
Oh!
Guimond and Smith got together, and I wasn't sure if either of them were coming back up onto the track. They were wrecking through the quad oval.
Go ahead and rack the replay here. And yeah,
Actually, I thought-
Guimond.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Guimond goes way up the track. He gets super loose. You can obviously see the damage. He was involved in an incident before. Gets really, really loose here. Out of turn 4, then comes up the track into Patton. Patton just had a gigantic run on him. Pushes Patton into the wall, and then Jeff Smith, who was behind him, was not expecting him to be that slow. Smashes right into the back of Guimond and sends him into the grass.
Yeah, that all developed so quick. There was no way Jeff Smith had enough time to check up there.
And this takes us 2 pit stops, and everybody will be good on fuel after this. But Nathan Reynolds is going to get back on the lead lap. And I don't think he has to come down pit road here. He won't make it in front of these drivers. First one out, Kyle Zittel, then Jeremy McKinnon just as they ran.
To point out, Hunter Engrave did stay out here.
Well, Engrave has come to pit twice. Came to pit on lap 76. I think he's good on fuel.
Awfully
But,
close, but
I
yes, I
think-
think he is good.
I think a lot of these drivers actually came to pit for tires. Those drivers that had already pit a couple of times, I think they're wanting to make sure they don't have tires that are like 60 laps old by the end of it. They would rather have tires that are only going to be about 40 laps old.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't blame him because this track is slick and slippery, and the tires do go away here at Atlanta a lot more than they would at a Daytona or Talladega.
I mean, yeah, this is going to be around a 40-lap dash to the finish here. That is not an insignificant amount of laps, especially if you've already got laps on the tires. Why not come down and put on fuel? You got 3 sets, use them all. That's what they're there for. Well, wasn't sure we were going to see it there after we went so long about our second caution of the race, but now I think we need to brace ourselves here. I don't think we're looking at what we end up with at North Wilkesboro last week. 17? I don't think we're looking at 17. But they could quite literally start piling up here in a hurry.
Spread out, or it was spread out farther back, and we knew that lead pack was going to have to come down pit road again. Everybody is now together and mostly on the lead lap here.
Back underway. Engrave and Zittel up front. Eglin jumps down to the bottom. It's 2 trucks up top. Zittel and Holt starting to back up a little bit. As big shots from McKinnon up to Hunter Engrave.
Yeah, we know how hard McKinnon can push. He is awfully good at it. And the problem is there's a lot of drivers in here that he's not really that familiar with. As I think he was trying to get to the outside, but Zittel was there awfully close to contact.
Yeah, I'm not sure what was happening there. I think everybody had a different agenda. Zittel backs up. McKinnon now is free to roam, and he will go to the outside this time. Wow, Engrave.
Was there
some
contact with Engrave
looked like
there?
it. Oh, Hunter is going to slow it down and keep it down on the apron. He had room to come back on up at pace. So that is unfortunate. He should be able to tack onto the back of this group here, no problem.
I think McKinnon went across that back bumper of Engrave as he was trying to get to the top.
I think so.
Engrave, I'm surprised to even see him save the truck.
Ooh.
It's awfully close there between Sanders and McKinnon.
Oh!
McKinnon pushes him off the track.
Oh, no. Sanders going to get it woed down, maybe. Oh, man. Just kept it off the rest of the pack there.
So now Sanders is slowed, trying to tack on to the rest of the field.
Man. Well, he'll have company in Hunter Engrave back there, I suppose. All jumbled up at the front now. It's Kyle Zittel who's jumped down in front of Jeremy McKinnon.
And if I was anybody in front of Jeremy McKinnon, I would just move to the top side at this point.
It's hot, it's slick, and it's super speedway racing.
Well, that's the thing. It's so difficult to keep that line on the bottom with the track as hot as it is. You have somebody barreling down and breathing down the back of your neck. It just makes it that much harder.
Oh, boy! Miglin with a shunt there to Roland Holt. I don't know how they both kept it out of the wall.
It's hard enough for me to keep a line here at Atlanta without it being as hot as it is.
Yes.
It is. It has just doubled the intensity here. And Miglin thought about going to the top, decides not to take it. Holt will.
As soon as he did, the rest of the field reacted. It is go time up front, even though there's still 33 laps to go?
Well, the laps click off real quick here at Atlanta. Obviously, only a mile and a half in length. Miglin drifting up the track a bit. As we keep moving on, you don't want to do that too many times, or somebody's going to squeeze their way underneath you.
Yes. Oh, problems! We got a wreck! Bensy and Sanders involved. Mike Berry, Alan Phillips, Daryl Klotz. Oh, man.
Points leader Bensy backwards right now on the track.
It's big damage for all of them. Yes, they all have meatball flags out of that crash. That was a big one.
And we mentioned it when we were looking at the points. We said this is one of those races that could really change things. And it has for Bensy. The problem is your second place in the points, TJ Crampton, is nowhere to be seen tonight. So Crampton will not be able to take advantage.
Hunter Engrave will, though. Assuming he survives to the end of this race, we'll take a look at what happened here.
Of course, we're already turned around there. Let's move a little farther back. This is coming through the quad oval just past the start finish. We're 3 wide here. Bensy, Mike Berry on the outside, Alan Phillips in the 25 in the middle. And Bensy, I think, moves up the track a little bit, trying to get good entry into the corner. Phillips kind of angled down to make that turn. The two of them get together, get right up into Mike Berry, pushes him hard into the wall. Klotz involved a bit there as well. Back it up and take one more look at it. Full speed this time. So that'll bring a few drivers down pit road. Still a set of tires left here, I believe, for everybody. So maybe a couple drivers feeling the effects of this track surface and would like to get a fresh set, even though they only have about 10 laps on them. Give themselves an advantage when this race gets down to the wire. Troy Thomas, Dakota DeMain, and Gavin Sanders all came down pit road that time, and they were not involved in that incident.
And as intense as it's feeling on the track right now, it's it's only going to get more intense.
Yeah, we're gonna restack them, re-rack them, and go racing with only 28 laps to go. And these lap times are only 30 seconds, so it is not long to get it done here if you have some ground that you need to make up.
This race, I'm sure it feels that way from the driver's seat too. So this race feels like it's been about 3 hours long. We just crossed over the 1 hour. I'm sure Zittel and McKinnon and others are begging for this one to get over in a hurry with them up front. Back underway.
Zittel, good start out front here, has Roland Holt behind him, as well as Michael Dean. We really haven't talked about Dean nearly at all this race. Has moved into third. McKinnon on the outside, finally getting some momentum. Will try to fight back. McKinnon. Oh! Michael Dean hard into the wall.
And Brantley Gainey to follow. Oh, no!
Big damage for those two, especially for Dean.
Oh, my gosh.
I couldn't quite see what happened. We'll have to take a look at it at some point when we get the chance.
Maitland got shuffled there.
Oh, and Roland Holt now looks to the top. It looked like he got loose when he tried to turn the wheel to the outside. And now McKinnon pushes Holt just as hard as we've seen previously. Scott Patton has found his way back into the mix here as well. JJ Wang back to the top.
Oh, boy.
Wang is now going to be in the middle.
Oh, man.
And works his way through, squeezes back into the top. Maybe, maybe not. He does. Patton lets him in. That was a mess to sort out, but they sorted it out and still kept the speeds up. Holt trying to clear Zittel to get down to the bottom. McKinnon has pushed him clear, And Holt will move down in front of Kyle Zittel.
Holt, the Daytona winner, up front again in this pack style of racing.
McKinnon trying to squeeze Holt as hard as he can. Pull that inside line back. McKinnon has JJ Wang behind him, who really likes to run this top side, but Patton all over the back of Wang right now. Holt continues to edge out McKinnon on the top here. And now Wang has been shuffled out to the outside. Patton on his inside here.
Oh boy. It gets tight here on corner entry. Oh man. It's not the first time Wang has been shuffled out.
No, it does a great job to not lose a lot of positions, though. Just loses a couple there on the top. Oh,
wow.
Sanders.
Oh, they're wrecking behind. Simard, Houston, Thomas, Reynolds, all involved.
Simard and Houston certainly got the worst of it up there in the wall.
Yes. Oh, meatball flag for Troy Thomas. Back under caution.
Well, first, I want to take a look at what happened to Michael Dean. Actually, this was after incident. Let's go ahead and back it up. This is through the quad oval here. Oh, and it almost looks like Dean's either wheel disconnected or had a monitor go black or something. He just drove without any help straight into the outside wall and collected Gainey. Luckily, nobody else involved there. Now let's try to take a look at this previous incident that brought that caution out. We'll rewind it here. And it was Simard and Houston that got together. Oh, and I think Houston thought he was clear. Either that or turned left off the push from Jeff Smith. Couldn't quite tell. He gets down there into Simard, and Troy Thomas and Nathan Reynolds both plow into him. And Houston and Troy Thomas, hard shots there into the outside wall.
I don't think Smith was close enough to Houston there to give him a shot to move down. I think that was on Matt, unfortunately. May have gotten loose, though. It's a lot of benefit going around here, because this is proven to be a handful for even those seasoned drivers today. But it is the end of the night for Matt Houston. Regardless, he is disconnected. Troy Thomas has got a meatball flag that he is working to get cleared right now. So hoping to rejoin this race multiple laps down. As it's winding down here, partner. What, 17 to go when we come back to this restart? It's you said the laps are going to tick away quickly. I feel like they are just absolutely dragging on here.
Yeah, and we're going to ratchet up that intensity even a little bit more now. Another restart, another re-rack. Like you said, 17 to go here. And it is not much time. It's a narrow track, 3 wide, pretty much impossible. These drivers will be very impatient on this one.
McKinnon and Zittel at the front, back underway.
Good start for McKinnon and Zittel. Zittel will slot down to the bottom, but doesn't want it. He sticks with Patton on the top. He wants to get to the front.
Vroman to help his teammate McKinnon now. Steve Vroman at the front of the field for the first time tonight.
Zittel getting great help from the 46 here. Oh, I thought he was going to try to take it to the bottom. He does. Was not quite clear.
Roman's going to give a big shot to Jeremy here. Patton doing a good job pushing away on the 53 up top.
Yeah, Zittel had to check up after he tried to get to the bottom, and it wasn't there for him. So that top line trying to regain the momentum. They are here through the quad oval.
Josh. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Stacked up big time. Watch out for some desperate maneuvers here in the last 10 laps.
You'll remember Josh Kreider got a black flag for improper pit road entry as we are 3 wide up front. Wow.
Zittel gets either loose or tight there through 3 and 4. Goes way high, allows Patton to get through, but now Patton no help for right now.
I think he got rooted is what happened.
I was watching the chat, wasn't watching the track, so
I guess technically loose. But now he is going to be the one pushing Scott Patton here. He's going to try. Wow, there's a big jump. Is that Gavin Sanders?
It is. Sanders back up to the top now.
After the contact with McKinnon and being involved in the accident with his teammate, Caleb Bensi, he has found his way back up to the front here. Incredible stuff.
And again, Zittel not able to catch up to Patton quite yet. But top line struggling just a bit right now. McKinnon out front all by himself. Sanders even with Vroman. But
big run.
Patton doing a very, very good job of pushing out of turn 4. That seems to be his best spot. Sanders getting great pushes from Patton, but good driving from McKinnon on the bottom with the help of Steve Vroman. The 10 not even able to really get a bumper out in front of McKinnon up to this point. I thought was trying to squeeze Sanders out, nearly happened. And now Sanders pulls back in front of McKinnon.
Wow, what a drive for Gavin Sanders. 9 laps to go.
Both Sanders and McKinnon clear of that top line now. Patton leading it, has Zittel behind.
Oh, Vroman. Oh, half a lane. He's getting to the point where somebody is going to try and fill the hole if you leave it.
McKinnon, massive pushes to Sanders. McKinnon, I thought, was looking to the top. And he is. Pulls out in front of Patton, looks loose.
Is loose. Vroman, he leaves his teammate behind. Sanders up the block, 3 wide. Somebody's got to give. Sanders right back down in front of McKinnon. Vroman now underneath of Sanders for the race lead. 3 wide for third. That's Jeff Oakes underneath.
And Patton's gotten shuffled out to 3 wide here. Is not able to get back in line.
Patton, I think, is up in the wall. He's going to drop like a rock. McKinnon now pushing Sanders on the top side. Trying to get themselves back clear, back down in front of Vroman.
Big push from McKinnon. Sanders is clear if he wants it.
Is he going to take the bottom? McKinnon is clear too! Sanders is going to go down, maybe. Yes, he is. McKinnon back to the outside. Kyle Zittel's going to pull up behind the 12. Big shots here from Vroman up.
It was a big shot from Jeff Oakes to Vroman, and then Vroman up to Sanders.
Oh, Jeremy's loose. Jeremy's loose. I don't know how he saved that. Not out of danger yet, though.
Contact between Holt and Miglin as well in the quad oval.
It'd be easier to tell you who didn't make contact that lap, and I think it was Vroman and Sanders and Oakes, the top 3. JJ Wang is in the mix here now. He's 4th in line. 5 to go, 4 at the line. Zittel shuffled out.
I think.
Oh, Roland Holt is in the wall. Stacking things up a little bit.
Vroman thinking about going to the top side here. Surely, if McKinnon gets there, I think he will. Those two obviously teammates, but McKinnon and Zittel struggling to make moves on the top now.
The calm before the storm. Oh, Paul Ellison is on his side in the quad oval. Is now back down on all 4 tires.
Miglin and McKinnon get together.
Drew White, Dakota Tamade, Roland Holt, Scott Patton, Luke Peterson, Josh Kreider all get a piece of that one. We, I think, are going to overtime.
We are going to overtime indeed. Well, let's see where it starts. Obviously already crashing here because why not? We'll rewind it for about the 10th time here tonight. And all of this started when Miglin tried to get to the top side. Well, he ended up getting there, but it was not the cleanest of moves, and it created a bit of a chain reaction. So Miglin out of 4 gets in front of McKinnon and then splits lanes here between McKinnon and White. Looks like he's going back to the bottom. Moves to the outside, but too far. He moves to the 3rd line, so he will be 3 wide with McKinnon and White now. And then comes down the track, and there's just no room for them. Gives McKinnon no room in the middle. White knows that he can't go below the red line, so McKinnon and Miglin have to make contact, or McKinnon has to make contact with somebody. He tries to move up because he knows he's going to hit White, but Miglin is there, has squeezed him nearly into the 15, so those two make contact. hard shot there for McKinnon. Contact with DeMade, Roland Holt. Scott Patton gets collected in as well. Pascal Samard and Nathan Reynolds, I think maybe some incidental contact, but really no serious damage. Oh, and then McKinnon comes down the track into Kreider as well, way after the initial incident. So Kreider has a big shot here also.
I think Kreider had some involvement with whatever happened to Paul Ellison, but kept on going, only to find himself directly in another accident.
Wow. And that is the trials and tribulations of the quad oval. It is a tricky spot to navigate. Definitely the trickiest here in this new configuration of Atlanta Motor Speedway.
And the reason I said I think we're going to overtime is not because we wouldn't in a normal race. It's just because, I'm also the same guy that put open qualifying on instead of regular qualifying. But rest assured, we are going to overtime. Wow. I mean, that was good racing for the most part. White knuckle racing for sure. Intense as all get out. When are we going to Darlington? Darlington lost to Atlanta 2022 by 1 vote. So if you're somebody that didn't vote for the tracks on this season, and you like Darlington more than you liked here, well, we'll have to fix that for next time. Long story short.
I don't know, after tonight, I don't know if anybody wants to go back here next season. Might shelf this one for one season or so.
I think there are 9 people that are not in this race anymore that certainly agree with you. 2 laps, first of 3 attempts here. Are you ready?
Oh, I don't know if anybody's ready, but we're about to do it.
Somebody that is left running here, 15 trucks on the lead lap. Somebody's got to be ready. We'll find out. Sanders in control of the restart. Vroman to his outside. Jeffrey Oaks and J.J. Wang on row 2. Green flag.
Sanders gets way out in front, but that's really not where you want to be. He has the opportunity to get railroaded by somebody, and it may just be Jeff Oaks. Oaks, there he goes. Oaks pulls to the top side in front of Roman.
A little out of shape behind, snaking a little bit. Roland Holt has to roll way out of it to save it. We're going to make it back to the line. One more time around, it's Jeffrey Oaks at the line. Sanders on the inside. Oaks down to side draft, a little contact. Siddle is loose on the apron. Sanders with Engrave behind him. Out of 4, Gavin Sanders is going to pull it off.
Wow, and after some incidents there, nobody could really gain the run, and Engrave stayed committed to the 10. Gavin Sanders from the front to the back and back to the front. He pulls it off here at Atlanta. And the 10 of Gavin Sanders continues to burn it down.
That is career win number 3. It's his second on the season, his second on an oval. And that is going to do it. Wow. Well, we go over 200 miles again here tonight. And everybody can breathe a sigh of relief because this one is in the books. Gavin Sanders, your winner here tonight. Hunter Engrave in second. Steve Roman back on the podium. We'll talk to all 3 of these gentlemen momentarily. That is a best career finish, I do believe, for Hunter Engrave. It's his second career podium. J.J. Wang, best career finish here tonight with 4th place. Jeffrey Oakes, best career finish here tonight, 5th place. Pascal Simard, I do believe, best career finish here tonight in 6th. Josh Kreider, 2 top 10s in a row. Nathan Reynolds, great job here tonight. Technically qualified 2nd, but had to start at the tail of the field. So great work for him to work his way up through the field to finish in 8th. Luke Peterson in 9th. Roland Holt rounds out your top 10. Dakota DeMade in 11th. Daryl Klotz in 12th. Jeremy McKinnon back in 13th, and last truck running was in 4th out of turn 2. Got turned around there on the final lap. Kyle Zittel will bring it home in 14th. Jeff Smith then 3 laps down in 15th. Paul Ellison in 16th. Brantley Gainey in 17th. Scott Patton in 18th. Dan Miglen in 19th. And Drew White rounds out your top 20. Dave Payton, I believe, last truck running in 21st. David Guimond in 22nd. Troy Thomas, 23rd. Matt Houston, 24th. Matt Schlosser, 25th. Dino Michael Dean was running up front a lot here tonight, but will finish back in 26th. The points leader, Caleb Bensey, had yet to finish off the podium here this season. Now will finish back in 27th. Alan Phillips, 28th. Mike Berry, 29th. And Cody Claiborne will round out the finishing order here tonight. As we look to brighter pastures here, if you will. Steve Roman is back on the podium in Truck 200. It feels like you sort of snuck up on us there. You were in the middle of that second group of pit stops there, and we're just chilling out for a while. And then all of a sudden, here you are, like a house of fire, up and running in the top 5 there at the end of the race. Nice work here tonight, partner.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, that was kind of the plan when I qualified in the middle of the pack. We just kind of hang out and keep it clean, keep the truck clean, and be there at the end and be able to make a move at the end there. Kind of wish that last caution hadn't come out because I think I was sitting in a good spot there in second to make a move at the end, but it is what it is. I'm glad to get the podium finish and be talking to you guys again.
Absolutely. Matt, what do you got here for Steve?
Well, congrats on the P3. You did a lot of pushing tonight, not only to teammate Jeremy McKinnon, but to some others as well. Talk to me about trying to push somebody here at Atlanta. It's probably the toughest of the super speedway style tracks to navigate.
Yeah, it definitely is. The only really good spot you got is the backstretch. You can sort of do it a little bit in the tri-oval, but you got to be careful and you got to be good with the guy in front of you. Has got to be able to hold that line straight, and I was able to do that a couple of times and keep us out front there. So, but it's touchy for sure.
Well, it's awesome to get you back up here on the podium, especially on Monday nights. You won our very first ever race. I don't know if people remember that or not, but I sure do. So it's awesome to get you out here on Monday when we can. Even better when we get to talk to you at the end of the night. So is there anybody you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, of course. I want to shout out to our sponsors, the Beeswax Apiary, and also all the guys at the Venom Truck League there, my teammates for this race, for helping out with everything there.
Great run. Broke Guy was up front a lot here tonight, and you're going to bring it home on the podium. So nice work. Keep up the good work. We'll hopefully talk to you again here soon.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Look forward to it.
Another podium finish for this gentleman now. Hunter Engrave is going to finish a career best second place here tonight. Fantastic work for you. I mean, this was a wild one. You're up at the front. You're in the back, all over the place. Second place after all that has got to feel pretty darn good.
Yeah, very much. It was like a Wild West tonight.
Absolutely. It's so difficult, especially when everybody's wrecking behind you and you don't have a whole lot of help to make a big move out of turn 4. Did you have any way of even trying to get around Gavin Sanders there, or was it just tuck in line and take second?
I just wanted to finish one of these races. Honestly, the luck's always been horrendously bad at super speedways. So once we cleared Roman, I was just glued to Gavin's bumper, and I was just happy to become the first loser tonight. And then, yeah, I just wanted to stay behind Gavin. I was glad to stay second. Just to finish one of these things was just awesome.
Matt, what do you got?
Well, you had to travel a long ways to finish in the second position. You were way in the back of the field a couple of times here tonight. How was it trying to work your way through traffic here? It's a tight track for super speedway racing.
Yeah, just patience basically. It was just be very patient. I just stayed at the bottom. I didn't go really up high. I just let the wrecks keep happening on the outside, and I just went to the bottom and just slowly kept creeping my way up, and then I got lucky just before the last yellow. The outside checked up really hard, and I got to 5th. And then, yeah, it's just be patient, basically, and let the wrecks come to you, basically.
Nice work again here. Anybody you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, Mom, Dad, Dakota for making these liveries, and yeah, and then you guys also for making this amazing league. Very interesting race, and appreciate you for making lobby number 2. I know the first lobby was a little frustrating, but appreciate you guys for doing everything. It means a lot to all of us.
Yes, certainly an interesting race here tonight. But congrats on the podium here, and road course next week. Maybe we'll be talking to you again soon.
Hopefully.
And now you talked about Hunter Engrave having a long way to go from the back to the front. How about the driver that had to do it twice here tonight, ending up on top, Gavin Sanders? Holy cow. Where do we even start, partner, other than, I guess, congratulations. But goodness gracious.
That was some wheeling and dealing. Oh my gosh. I mean, after almost cleaning out half the field, coming back up on the apron to that green white checker, I don't even know. It was a fun time when we were racing, and just some general craziness. So I didn't expect anything different from this place, but yeah, that was not even keeping us on our toes in terms of wreck avoidance or stuff kind of piling up. It was just the odds snap oversteer, and next thing you know, it's on. So
yeah, so gosh, I don't even know. You pit under the first caution, if I remember correctly, on lap 15. And then we went green for a really, really long time. How do you think it was going to shake out if we didn't ever have a caution somehow after that?
If in another if many alternate universes away where we ran the rest of that race green, I would have been good on fuel from there. So that was my intent with the first one. I kind of saw that I'd be good plus or minus a couple laps in the kind of saving gas. So figured that was probably the way to go if everything shook out the way I wanted it to. But yeah, no, that I was more anticipating a few chaotic moments in the last little bit, and just kind of hoping for the track position, but we managed to make that happen anyways. I took a combination of right sides and left sides and all sorts of weird stuff. So just anything to maintain top 5. And that was the safe space it felt like.
Matt, what do you got?
Well, my question is sort of related to pit stops as well. First of all, congratulations on the win. But it was a tough track, a very, very hot and slick track here tonight. I noticed that you came down pit road on the caution around lap 100, only 10 laps after everybody had come down pretty much before that. Was that for tires just because the track was so slippery? How did that play out for you?
So that was the weird sort of combination after Jeremy and I had a little bit of I don't know if it seemed like it was netcode, because I don't think he meant, obviously he didn't mean to come down like that, but it didn't seem like we were that close in proximity, and then lost on my track position. I took right sides to try and be aggressive and work my way back through. And then after that, I was pleased but not super happy, and still kind of buried back there. So in essence of getting out of the gong show in the middle of the pack, I figured might as well put on whatever I have left and see what we got. So that was why I pit like 4 or 5 or something times.
The gong show, that is the perfect way to describe what we just saw, I think. But no matter if it's the gong show, the 3-ring circus, or whatever, you are the ringleader here tonight. So it's got to feel good to escape the chaos, not unscathed, but on top.
Right, definitely not unscathed. I think my underwear took a few swipes. But yeah, no, pleased to survive, and that green white checker had me on my toes. So it's always fun when it comes down to the wire, I guess.
Who do you want to thank or shout out here with your second win of the season?
Big thanks to Team Raceverse, Stowe Motorsports. Buy Echo Blade on Steam.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to continue to say it, people, until everyone buys it, because I can tell that there's some of you out there that haven't listened to me yet. Anyways, big thank you to Sunset Arctic Games and Graphics for my amazing paint scheme, and thank you to you guys for putting on a heck of a show and making sure that there's plenty to talk about.
Definitely plenty to talk about on and off the track here after this one, but it's all celebrations for you here tonight. So congratulations, go party hard, and maybe we'll talk to you again after the Roval next week.
That's the plan. I appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week.
Okay. This one's over. Let's just let it be over. It's been a rough couple of weeks here for the old guys and gals at Truck 200, but we are on to bigger and better things, hopefully next week. Like we said, 55 laps is 200 kilometers from the Charlotte Roval next week. Matt, anything you want to say to wrap up the show here tonight from Atlanta?
Well, shout out to the patience from our drivers here tonight, from session issues to server issues to everything in between. A lot of patience shown from the Truck 200 drivers, so shout out to all the great drivers we have, and they continued to put on one hell of a show as all of that was happening as well. So shout out to all of you. Also shout out to the chatters here tonight. Unfortunately, a couple of them were only here because they got knocked out of the race, but shout out to Michael Dean, Insert Coin Racing. Garrett Rainey was in here. Chelsea Griffin cheering on Gavin Sanders, who did pull off that win. John K of JK Gaming, and John Newt as well cheering on JJ Wang. So shout out to you guys for watching. Hope that you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you hopefully Wednesday night for some ASRL action.
Absolutely. The ASRL Southern Shores Realty Sports Car Championship, live from WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca. It is going to be a good night on Wednesday night. GT3, GT4 multi-class racing. I believe Gavin Sanders will be there as well, and he won both of the GT4 races last week at the Red Bull Ring. So Gavin Sanders going to look to continue his winning ways out in California way on Wednesday nights. Thursday night for Maximum Velocity Racing League, they are at the Magic Mile, New Hampshire. So that'll be a fantastic race. And Scott Patton will look to fare a little bit better in that race than he did here tonight. We appreciate Scott Patton coming back out here tonight. We appreciate everybody that came out and raced with us. And like Matt said, we appreciate their patience as well. It's not always easy, especially after a night like tonight and a couple of weeks like we've had. Appreciate everybody for working through it and working with us here. As we move on, like we said, next Monday will be from the Roval. And between now and then, like we said, Wednesday night, Thursday night, and also Sunday, it is going to be a me solo broadcast, I do believe, as Matt will be at Talladega. But the Mission R Challenge will be storming into Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin for their official top split broadcast at Road America. So that's a look at what we got coming up here. If you want to be a part of that, please hit subscribe on your way out of the stream here tonight. We are closing in on the funny number, I do believe. 420 is the next milestone for us. But we are creeping towards 500 in the overall. So every little bit helps. We really appreciate you coming and spending your time with us here tonight on Turn 200. For everybody here with Truck 200, for the GOAT, Mr. Matt Williamson, I'm Tommy Cook. Until we meet again, we say so long and good riddance to Atlanta Motor Speedway, where Gavin Sanders stands tall here tonight for the second time this season.